in Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Welcome back, students. I will be continuing the organizing chapter from where we have stopped in the previous class. So, next subtopic is formal organization. Now, before starting or telling you what is formal organization, students, I'll give you a small example of what is happening in our school. You must have noticed students, teachers talking in corridors. You must have noticed teachers going to canteen together, going home together, and we know that they are friends. Also, students, sometimes principal comes to your class and announces a holiday. He declares the next day as a holiday. Sometimes principal comes to your class and inquires with you about your parents. Same way, even a teacher, when she comes to your class, she will deal with the lessons, she will talk to you, you will approach your class, your teacher, your particular subject teacher, you will talk to her, you will ask your difficulties related to your syllabus. Beyond that, sometimes the teacher might ask you about your family as well. Okay? So, what is happening here? There is interaction between you and your teacher, you and your principal. Formal interaction is also there and informal interaction is also there. Now, when principal is announcing a holiday, it is a formal interaction. When principal is inquiring with you about your family, it is informal. Same way, when teacher comes to the class, she is dealing with the syllabus in the class, again formal interaction, and teacher is asking you about your family is informal interaction. So, what is happening in an organization? Same thing. Everything is not always seriously discussed or seriously focused on. There is something beyond that takes place in the organization. Communication beyond the officially defined roles. So, that is what we are going to learn in this subtopic, formal organization. Formal organization refers to the structure where an organization lays down the job description for each task to be performed and the rules and procedure related to work process. Now, in formal organization, what happens? Formal organization is designed by the management, by the top level management. Why it is designed by the top level management? In order to accomplish a particular task. They want to accomplish a particular task. Now, we all know the main focus of an organization is to achieve the objective of the organization. So, how the objective will be achieved? If you just say, okay, now come and work, things may not happen. Everything has to be formally told. So, in formal organization, it is the duty of the top management to assign task and see that the task is performed. So, what is the main focus of formal organization? The focus is completing of a task. The focus is everything is formally done. Orders are given formally. Task is completed formally. Communication is formal. So, their focus is on formal obligations. It specifies clearly the boundaries of authority and responsibility. Now, in formal organization, the boundaries of authority and responsibility are clearly defined. That is, suppose a superior has authority over a subordinate. There is a limit to his authority. He may have authority to get the task completed, or he may have the authority to instruct the subordinate to complete a particular task. If the task is not completed, he can tell the subordinate to wait back and complete the task. But he cannot suspend the subordinate. Maybe that is not in his limit, that is not his authority. So there is a boundary. How much of authority a superior can practice over his subordinate. Responsibility. Now task is assigned and a subordinate is responsible to complete that particular task. Only that particular task he has to complete. Beyond that, he is not bothered. I am given this much to do, I am going to do this much. So there is a boundary. You have to complete or you have to do this particular task. As a result, what will happen? There will be coordination among various departments. And coordination is needed in order to achieve the objective of business enterprise. Now, informal organization, in the hierarchy, it flows downward. The orders will go downward. That is, the superior will give orders to the subordinates. Then we have informal organization. Informal organization can be defined as a network of social relationships among employees. Social relationship. Now, I have told you in the introduction how teachers interact with each other, how teachers come to your class and apart from the syllabus, they talk to you about your family. So that is called as interaction beyond their officially defined role. As a teacher, I am supposed to complete the syllabus. I am not, that is my duty. Officially, I am supposed to complete my syllabus. But apart from that, I am inquisitive. I want to know about my student. So I am asking, I am inquiring with my student about the family. How is your mother? How is your father? So that is interaction beyond officially defined roles. In formal organization, people with like minds form groups. With like minds come together and they may go to the canteen, to the cafeteria for a cup of tea. They may go together to watch movies during weekends. They may talk about a cricket match. They may discuss the problems, their personal problems with each other. Informal organization has no written rules and does not have fixed line of communication. Here there are no rules. Whereas in formal organization, there are rules which have to be strictly followed. But in formal organization, there are no written rules. Anybody can communicate with anyone. Whereas we saw in formal organization, only a superior can give order to the subordinate. Then subordinate have to report to the superior. But in informal organization, it is not like that. Anybody can interact with anyone. Now, how informal organization develops? It develops from within formal organization. It is not separate. It exists in the formal organization. It also, this type of organization gives satisfaction for the employee. You students, you also go to school. You go to school only to learn what is there in your books or what is recommended by the board for you? No. Apart from that, you have other social activities. You make friends with your colleagues. No, you share your problems with them. And as a result, it gives you satisfaction. Next subtopic is delegation. Suppose if an event is to be organized in your school, are you going to do everything all by yourself? Or you are going to take help from your friends? Practically, it is not possible for one person to do all the activities effectively. As a result, the need of sharing responsibilities arise. Sharing of responsibilities. If I am given a charge, I will share that responsibility with somebody. I will take help from somebody. To perform responsibilities, individual require authority. When the responsibility and authority is shared with others, it is called delegation. So, simple words, delegation is sharing of authority and responsibility. Now, delegation means downward transfer of authority from a superior to a subordinate. So, it is downward. Again, we are referring to the same hierarchy, the top level, the middle level, the low level. So, here delegation will flow downward. The subordinate cannot delegate anything to the superior, but the superior can delegate, can give a particular task to the subordinate. So, it is downward. Enables managers to use their time on higher priority activities. Now, the work that a manager was supposed to do, he is taking help from his subordinates. He is assigning duties to his subordinates. So, as a result, what will happen? Mostly less important tasks are assigned to the subordinates, and the task which the subordinate is supposed to do, he will only do. He cannot delegate that task to somebody else. We can take the example of a classroom. A teacher assigns, she gives you homework to do. Next day she comes to the class and she knows that she had given homework. So, now she wants to know whether all of you have done the homework. So, what she does? She selects some students and she tells, one row, come on, go and check whether everybody have done their homework or no. Okay? So, as a result, what will happen? She will save time. Otherwise, one teacher, if there are 60 students in a class, one teacher checking everyone's book will be waste of lot of time. So, if she is delegating that task to students, this row one person will check, the other row other person will check. So, it will save the time, okay? But the teacher will not assign the task of teaching the syllabus to the student. That is only the teacher have to do. So, as I said, the less important activities can be assigned to the subordinates to do, or the superior can take help of the subordinates. So, what will happen? The managers will have lot of time remaining at their ease. So, what they can do with that time? They can use that time in higher priority tasks. Like for example, maybe they want to write a plan for expansion of the business. So, the manager can look into that matter, or they want to increase the sales. So, manager can look into that matter, because he is having ample of time, because he has delegated the task or smaller activities to the subordinate. Provide subordinates job satisfaction. Now, I will take the same example. Teacher is telling you to check the books, to check the homework. Okay? You will feel happy that she selected only you, okay? And you will probably perform that task sincerely, no? So, same way in an organization, delegation will provide job satisfaction. The employee will also feel happy that my subordinate have selected me for this particular task. He will feel happy and he will work hard, he will try to give in his best. We have various elements of delegation. That is, the first element is authority, then responsibility and accountability. So, there are three elements: authority, responsibility and accountability. Let us see what is authority. In simple words, authority means right to command. Now, in a business enterprise, who has the right to command? The top level, the superiors. The superiors can command their subordinate. The principal can command or instruct the teacher. The teacher can instruct the students. So, it is right to command. The right of an individual to command his subordinates and to take action. So, if the work is not performed properly, the superior has the right to take action, to question the subordinate why that particular task assigned was not completed. The concept of authority arises from established scalar chain which links various job positions. That is, authority flows downward. The subordinate, who has the right to take decision here? The superior has the right to take decision. Authority gives managers the right to take decision, inform people what to do and what is expected of them. Authority originates by virtue of position. It depends on the position they are holding. It is highest at the top level and it goes on reducing as it reaches the lower level. It means superior has authority over subordinate. Authority provides managers the right to direct workforce and expect obedience. So, the managers will direct the workforce and obviously they have to obey that. They have to obey what is told to them by their superior. Authority determines the superior and subordinate relationship where superior expects the subordinate to execute his decision in accordance to the guidelines issued by him. So, the subordinate have to obey the superior and work according to the guidelines the superior has provided to the subordinate. Next is responsibility. Responsibility is obligation to perform the assigned task. It is an obligation. If my superior has assigned a particular task, I cannot say no to that. It's an obligation. I have to do it. Responsibility is the obligation of a subordinate to properly perform the assigned duty. It arises from superior-subordinate relationship. So, now my superior is telling me or he is assigning a task and he is telling me to complete that particular task. So, it arises from superior-subordinate relationship. Responsibility must also be given the degree of authority. Now, if I am telling my subordinate as a superior to complete a particular task, the subordinate is to be given a particular authority to complete that particular task. That freedom should be there. I am not only telling him do this, I am giving him the authority also to do it the way he wants it. But it should be, that task should be completed. Responsibility flows upward. Now, upward, after completing, what I have to do? As a subordinate, what I have to do? I have to report to the superior. Next is accountability. Now, accountability means answerable, the person answerable for his performance. It arises once authority is delegated and responsibility is accepted. Accountability flows upward. A subordinate is accountable for his performance. He is answerable to his superior for his performance. If superior has assigned a particular task to the subordinate and that particular task is not completed, then the subordinate is answerable to the superior. Now, it is not only the subordinate. The superior is also answerable to the higher authority. It is not only the subordinate who is accountable, both of them are equally accountable for the task assigned to them. After the authority and responsibility is delegated, the manager or the superior cannot say, I told the subordinate to do it. And if the task is complete, he cannot, if task is not completed, the superior cannot blame the subordinate for not completing. It was the duty of the superior to check on and off whether the subordinate was performing the task or no. A subordinate is accountable to the senior. Accountability cannot be delegated. It cannot be delegated. It cannot be given. The superior is assigning a task to the subordinate. He cannot make him accountable for not completing it, because the superior is answerable to his superiors, to the higher authority. If the task is not completed by the subordinate, he cannot tell his superiors, I told the subordinate to do it, he did not do it, so what I will do? No, it is not like that. That is why it is said, accountability cannot be delegated. Both of them, the superior as well as the subordinate, are equally responsible if the particular task is not completed. Importance of delegation. We are going to discuss the 4 importance of delegation. First one, effective management. Second, employee development. Third, motivation of employees. And fourth, facilitation of growth. Effective management. Sharing responsibilities with subordinates. Now, in delegation what happens? We saw delegation means sharing of responsibilities. So now who is sharing the responsibility? The senior or the superior is sharing responsibility with the subordinate. And we saw earlier, the less important activities or tasks are shared. The task which cannot be done by the subordinate will not be delegated to the subordinate. Whatever the superior has to do, he will do it. Only the less important tasks are delegated. Freedom from doing routine jobs. So, he will the superior or the senior will have freedom from doing routine jobs. As I said, less important tasks or routine tasks will be assigned to the subordinates. So, he will have freedom from doing the routine task. As a result, what will happen? The superior will have lot of time at his ease. We have already discussed this. He will have lot of time at his ease, which he can use in accomplishing higher priority task. An issue of higher priority task. Then second, employee development. Now, how employee development? Employees get more opportunities to utilize their talent. So, when authority and responsibility is delegated to the subordinate feels happy about it and he works hard. He wants to prove to the superior that he can do it. He feels recognized. It allows to develop required skill and ability to handle complex tasks. Now, skills to handle complex tasks. Now, I am given a responsibility, I am at the same time as a subordinate I am given the authority. So, I have to complete that particular task the way I want. So, if I want to complete that particular task and if there is a problem, I will learn how to solve that. So, it will develop skills. I will learn more about it. I will learn more how to do it better, so that I can impress my superior. Improves the career prospects. Now, once the task is completed, obviously the subordinate has to report to the superior, and the superior will know how about the performance of the subordinate. So, it will help him in his career prospect later on. That is, if there are any promotion, then this superior can recommend the subordinate's name to the higher authority for the promotion. Third point, third importance of delegation, motivation of employees. Motivation of employees. Now, how employees will get motivated if authority and responsibility is given to them, if they are made responsible for particular thing, how it will motivate them or in what way it will motivate them. Delegation of responsibility with authority indicates superior's confidence, trust in the subordinate. Now, in my example, as I said earlier, I am selecting 4 students and telling them to check the homework, check the books of the students. Now, why I am doing it? I have confidence, I have trust in those 4 students that they will check and then they will come and report to me. They will tell me if any student have not done the homework. Same way, when a superior assign a particular task to the subordinate, it shows that the superior has confidence, has trust in his subordinate. Builds self-esteem, improve confidence and motivates. So as a result, the employee or the subordinate at the low level will feel happy, it will build confidence in him, and as a result he will get motivated to work harder in order to achieve the goal of the organization. Employees feel committed and work hard to achieve higher productivity because the superior have assigned a particular task, given responsibility, given authority. The subordinate will work harder in order to improve the productivity so that the goal of the organization is achieved. Fourth point, facilitation of growth. Delegation helps to train the in-house workforce for new project. So work is delegated, they are responsible, so they are finding new ways of doing that particular thing, they are getting, their talents are coming out, they are learning more about the particular task given to them, they know how to solve the problems, they gain confidence, they feel happy because the superior have shown his trust in them. So as a result, it becomes easier to train them because they are already well versed with what they are doing. They are already well versed. So it becomes easier for them to train. The organization can use the already trained and experienced staff to launch new project. Superior is noticing whether that particular subordinate is able to perform that particular task assigned to him, whether he is able to do difficult tasks. He is noticing it, and now the superior knows this particular subordinate can handle difficult situation in a pleasant manner. So as a result, what will happen? I said earlier also, he can recommend his name for promotion. Leading positions, if there are any leading positions in the organization, the superior can recommend the subordinate's name who has been performing his duty sincerely, working hard, and who can handle difficult tasks easily. Next subtopic, centralization. Centralization is the process of decision making where all the authority to decide is retained with the top level management. So in centralization, all the decisions are taken at the top level management. No other person in the organization has the right to take any decision. The rules and decisions are taken, rules are framed by the top management, decisions are taken by the top management and they are sent across to the lower level. Concentration of all decision making function at the apex of the management hierarchy. Apex at the top level. Only the top level has the authority to take any decision. No other levels in the hierarchical structure has the authority to take any decision. Decisions comes from the top level. That's why it is called as centralized. Everything is decided at the center. At the center. And then the decisions are sent across at various levels in the hierarchical structure. Next is decentralization. Decentralization is a concept followed by organization which delegate or share the power to decide with all departments and all levels of management. Now in decentralization, what happens? All the levels in the hierarchical structure has the authority to take decisions. They are delegated this authority by the top level. This authority is given to them by top level, the authority to take any decisions they want. So it is distributed at all levels in the hierarchical structure. It is the process of dividing the decision making responsibility among hierarchical structure. So, hierarchical structure we know, if we take the example of our school hierarchical structure, who is there in that? Management is there, principal is there, teacher is there. So, who takes in that type of structure, all the levels are allowed to take decision if it is decentralization. If it is centralization, only the management will take the decisions. No other levels in the hierarchical structure are allowed to take any decisions. Places the decision making authority to the nearest point of action. Now, in decentralization, the decision making authority will be closest to the point of action. Meaning, if any problem arises, suppose if it is a factory, they are manufacturing, and there is a problem there. So, there will be decision making authority there only. They do not have to, if there is a problem in the factory workers do not have to go to the top level, or maybe by the time they reach the top level for their problem, it will take lot of time, but the decision come back, it will take lot of time. So, as a result, where they are placing in decentralization, where they are placing the decision making authority? At the place, at the point of action, where the action is taking place, or where the actual performance, actual work is taking place, so that there is no delay in decision making and there is no delay in solving problems. If there are any problems, quick decisions can be taken in decentralization. Importance of decentralization. We are going to discuss about 4 importance of decentralization. The first one, develops initiative among subordinates, develops managerial talents for the future, quick decision making, relief to the top management. Now, let us take each of these separately. The first one, develops initiative among subordinate. Decentralization gives freedom to the lower managerial level to take decisions. Now, we saw in decentralization, the decision making authority is at all the levels in the hierarchy. So, everybody has the right to take decision. So, it gives freedom to the lower managerial levels to take decision. So, if the lower level, otherwise if the lower level were having any problem, then they had to approach the top level for the solutions. In decentralization, what happens? The lower level has the authority. They has the authority to take the decision if there are any problems. They learn to depend on their own judgment and develop skills to find solution. Now, since the lower level is given the authority to take decisions, they know that they cannot run every time to the superior when there are solutions to ask for solutions for their problems. When there are problems, they cannot go to the top level, they cannot go to the superior again and again asking solutions for their problems. So, as a result, what happened? They learn to solve their own problems. They find out means how they will solve their own problems. They will find out. So, it develops skills in them. They know that they are supposed to solve their own problems. So, they are finding more ways of solving problems. So, now they will become experts in solving problems. They will learn to depend on their judgment, on their own judgment. Okay? They will learn because they know now no more they can approach the superiors for the solutions. So, they will learn to depend on their own judgment. Take initiative to find more effective and efficient ways of handling the assigned task. They will find more better ways how they can complete the assigned task. If the problem arises in completing of that particular task, they will find ways to solve the problem related to that particular task. So, as a result, because of decentralization, there will be initiative among the subordinates to find solution for their problems. They will solve their problems, and as a result, the subordinate will develop skills. Second importance of decentralization, develops managerial talents for the future. Now, how managerial talents will come because of decentralization? The authority to take decisions at lower management level makes subordinate confident and self-reliant. Now, it gives them, decentralization gives them opportunity to exhibit their talents. They are exhibiting their talent, each one want to prove that they are the best. Now, subordinate, now as a result what will happen? They will be solving their own problems, this will be happening again and again, so they will become confident, okay, I have solved this problem. And they will be self-reliant, they will not approach the superior again. They know that they are able to solve their own problems, then why go and approach the superior? Provides on-job training. Now, that much skillful they already become because they are solving their own problems. Okay, so it will help the enterprise to train them. Much efforts will not be needed to train such type of subordinates because they are already skillful, they know how to solve their problems, they know what to do when problem arise, they know how to arrive at that particular solution to solve their problem. So, training such type of employees will be easy. Helps management to identify employees who have the potential to take challenges. Now, the superior is observing the subordinate. Subordinate is working, he knows to solve the problem, he knows to take the challenges. Now, this subordinate's name can be recommended later on in the future if there are any promotions. It helps the management to identify employees who have the potential. Potential of what? Potential of taking up challenges, potential of taking up tasks, potential of solving a particular problem. So, those subordinates will be recognized, okay, and the subordinate also knows if I do this, I solve this, I will obviously get credit for the task that I have performed. So, it will develop managerial talents for the future. People have already been working to make themselves better and better, to acquire better skills, okay, so that the superior recognizes them, and as a result these talents can be used in the future, or these subordinates can be used in the future when the company is introducing new projects. The third importance of decentralization, quick decision making. Now, quick decision making is possible why? As I said earlier, the decision making authority is at the point of action. They do not have to go to the hierarchical levels, they do not have to approach anyone. Decentralization promotes decision making to be taken at levels which are nearest to the point of action. So, decision making is spread at all the levels. It is placed nearest to the point of action. As I said, production is taking place in a factory. There is a problem, if a problem arises, then there is a decision making authority there. The employees do not have to run about seeking solution for their problems. The problems can be solved at their level only. That is what is decentralization. Authority is given to them to take decisions on their own to solve their own problems. The employees are not required to depend on the management hierarchy and wait for top management to take decision. They do not have to wait for the top management. They don't have to go across the hierarchy to get the solution of their problems. The problems will be solved by them at their own level, because that is the authority given to them by the top management. They have the authority to find solution for the problem. So they don't have to go to the top management. As a result, what will happen? There are less chances of information getting distorted. By the time the solution comes from the top level, it will take many days, time will be wasted. By the time it comes from the various levels, maybe it will not come the way it is sent by the top level. It will get distorted. It will not reach, maybe it will not reach the same way. So, when the decision making authority is at the point of action, the distortion won't be there directly. Directly decisions will be taken and it will be put to practice to solve the problems. And the last point, relief to top management. Now, decentralization is possible in case of organization having large scale production. Large scale production companies only can have decentralization. They can divide the decision making authority at all levels in the hierarchical structure. Through decentralization, superiors provide subordinates the authority to decide and act. Subordinates are given the authority to decide and act. So, the subordinate knows that he will not go and approach the superior again and again. He will not go to the superior again and again because he is given that authority. Otherwise, if he is going to his superior again and again to solve his problem, what is the use of his authority of taking decision? So, he will take his decision. He will not worry the top level again and again. As a result, the top level will be free. They will have time which they can use in higher priority task. Leaves the top management with more time. Since the lower level will solve their own problems, the top level management will have more time. Decentralization gives authority to those lower level to all the levels in the hierarchy. They have the authority to take the decisions. They have the authority to solve their own problems. So again, they will not be, the lower levels will not worry the top level again and again. As a result, the top level have an ample of time which can be utilized in higher priority tasks. Now, higher priority tasks are what? Expansion, maybe they want to expand, they want to add a new line of product. If they want to introduce a new line of product, then they will have to find out many things. They will have to do market survey, they will have to know, they will have to decide where they are going to sell their product, that particular product will be sold where. So, all this work, higher priority task, will be done by the top management. The time can be utilized in important policy decisions. So, the top management can utilize the time that they have, the extra time that they have, because they have delegated or because they have decentralization in the hierarchical structure. They will have ample of time which can be used in higher priority or higher priority task or policy, important policy decisions. So, with this, students, I have completed the organizing chapter. Thank you and all the best.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.